inverted, narcissistic, and most importantly, completely pointless. Come waste an hour of your week with The Starting Block, Friday nights Australian time at dlive.tv/The Starting Block. Get in touch with us on Twitter at The Starting Block, no K at the end. Also, subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts or iTunes by searching for The Starting Block, all one word, or on Podbean at startingblock.podbean.com. Join the blockheads, tuning in their millions, right around the world.
You're listening to The Starting Block on tavshow.com.
The following program is recommended for mature individuals and may contain material unsuitable for morons, cretins, and dishwipes. If you are a moron or a member of the PTL Club, please turn off your radio, because we don't need any more stupid, narrow-minded, pencil-neck geeks who wouldn't know the First Amendment if it came up and bit them on the butt. Thank you.
Okie dokie, roll 'em!
Nothing to rearrange. Sometimes you just get a feeling like you need some kind of change.
Hey, welcome to The Starting Block for another week. Big show as always. We got Halloween story times, we got Twitter upgrades, we got cancel everything, we got Is That Sexist? All that and much, much more here on The Block. Greeno here from The Starting Block. On behalf of the block, we just wanted to let you all know that we're all in this together. Well, except if you have coronavirus, then stay the fuck away. But in every other situation, we're in it together. To all of you on the front lines, those of you turning a footstool, a wok and a pitchfork into a home gym, those of you who have given your housemates a mental breakdown because you decided lockdown was a great time to learn the keyboard and the only thing you can play after 8 weeks is chopsticks over and over and over again. And those of you who are homeschooling and are now understanding the question you used to harass your maths teacher with of, when the fuck are we ever going to need to know this in the real world, is coming back to bite you on the ass. Just remember, like a 1990s Australian sitcom, we're all in this together. The days may be long, but in times like this, you can rest assured we will be here to waste an hour of your week, Friday nights Australian time, at dlive.tv/The Starting Block. So take care, social distance, whack on a mask, and subscribe to our show on iTunes. It may not cure coronavirus, but it sure will help us with our rankings. And isn't that really the most important thing right now?
Public Radio's loss is tavshow.com's game. You're listening to The Starting Block.
Hey, welcome to the starting block for another week. I've got myself Greeno, and I'm joined by a man who's $8 out of pocket, but now verified. My co-captain Damo, how are we, sir?
Very good, Greeno. Good evening to you, boys, girls, listenership out there around the world. Yep, AOC in particular, Greeno. It's very annoyed with the $8 charge being thrown onto Twitter to keep your little blue check mark there. You know, I guess it's a small price to pay for status, though, isn't it? $8 a month to be better than everyone else. It's good.
That's it. To feel privileged to be up there. So
maybe they're upset because it's so cheap now. Anybody can feel privileged.
Anyone can get verified. They've also removed the requirement to prove who you actually are. So we could become verified as the new Kanye West account. No one would know.
Ah, okay. Well, will there ever be a new Kanye West, or will that become 20 years from now, will children be taught that there used to be two evil people? One was Adolf Hitler and the other one was Kanye West.
Which Yeezy, correct.
Yeah. Not so
while we're
easy.
Talking,
yeah.
Not so easy. While we're talking Twitter, I realised that in my apps sitting there, because I only really check for updates, infrequently.
No, you don't. Yeah.
The Twitter, I've refused to upgrade since Elon took over, because I don't know what that upgrade's going to do. I think there's some suspect shit in that upgrade. Just putting it out there.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna ride it out as long as humanly possible without
that.
ever upgrading Twitter until from post Elon.
I don't like upgrading anything that's already working. And if I don't,
That's my rule.
If I haven't noticed a bug or something, if I haven't noticed some kind of issue or some kind of fuck up, I don't upgrade. And the reason is because so many fucking times, here's a quick little story.
I like stories about pinatas.
Did the last upgrade on, what was it? What did I fucking upgrade? It might have been the OBS upgrade, actually. Which is the streaming software that we use to bring you this wonderful broadcast
program
live every Friday night, for the last 10 fucking years, ladies and gentlemen, this professional presentation. We use the free software OBS, and I hadn't done an upgrade in like 6 months because of the policy. Yeah, it's working. And then I thought, you know what? It's been a while. Why don't I give her a little freshen up, Greeno?
Yeah.
Why don't I give her a little
spruce,
upgrade?
bit of a spring clean, if you will. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I happily hit the upgrade button. I'm like, all right, show me what's new. What are you doing these days? What's good here? And then all of a sudden, like all of these various inputs, like media sources and stuff, wouldn't work. Like there was no audio on the intro video for whatever reason.
Part of the upgrade.
Yeah, after the upgrade. So I later discovered
audio's overrated.
Yeah, we don't need that.
No,
we're shedding the audio part from the audio streaming part of it.
more streamlined.
More streaming, less audio. Sounds good, doesn't it? And so I later discovered that part of this new upgrade, this new fandangled upgrade, was to, remove access for these various files from being played directly. And I was like, oh, well, that's a kick in the dick, isn't it?
Yeah.
So then I had to spend, 20 minutes or something rolling back the upgrade to go back to the previous version. Had to re-download it and reinstall it and everything. Luckily, all my setups, like the background and everything, was already in the folder that it was supposed to be. So it was just looking for the stuff that was already there. So that was good. Yeah. But that's the problem with upgrading, and it will lean right into a next story.
I like stories about pinatas.
I'm going to double down here on the stories.
I like it.
Because the reason we were late tonight, ladies and gentlemen, normally if we're late, we're normally 5 to 10 minutes late. And it's normally because I'm like, no, I'm going to have a cigarette first. And, I'll say to Greeno, sorry, mate, going to be 5 minutes late. And he goes, no worries. And it'll be because I got sidetracked or whatever. And it's like, well, I'm not starting the show unless I have my cigarette first, Greeno. I'm a bit of a prima donna like that,
That's it. I will not go out on stage till it's this time.
Hand me my Marlboros, bitch. The people need me. So... that's normally the reason. It's just my tardiness, basically. But tonight I have a legitimate reason, and that is because, as is tradition on this show, I use it as the guinea pig. Today I went off and got a bunch of PC upgrades, Greeno. I thought, you know what?
Never bodes well for this show when there's PC upgrades.
No, because this one's always the first one over the barbed wire.
Yeah.
After we do something major. And look, I've done overhauls before. I've installed little bits and pieces, but this was a major overhaul. We're talking like the whole engine room of the PC, Greeno, motherboard, graphics card, CPU, just went fucking hell for leather on it, right? You know why? Because I've had this PC for like, 4 or 5 years, I'm going to say, and we've had some really good times together, It's been real, but I thought, it's in the spirit of sprucing up. I'll get her the fake tits and the arse implants, and I'll spruce her up a little bit and bring her back home. Get a hot new PC in my room. You know what I mean? Same
20
PC.
years younger.
20 years younger. Took 20 years off her. Fucking brilliant. Nice, Gary. And, it appeared everything was working supremely well. And I texted Greeno through the day and I'm like, look, mate, I don't know about the show tonight. It could be at risk because of this upgrade. I might not get it back. And I'm keeping him updated. I'm like, all right, I've got it back. I'm going to give everything a test. Of course, you give it a test and everything works fine.
Smooth as silk.
Smooth as silk, smooth as a baby's ass, Greeno. Everything was fucking working stupendously well. So I confidently text Greeno and I say, look at this, mate. We're going to be right on track. Yeah. Same time as always. No problems.
Same time. I'm going to be 5 minutes late as 5 always.
Minutes, having a cigarette.
Good to go.
Yep, good. Yeah. But other than that, we are flying out of the gates. Yeah. We are going to win the fucking race tonight. I'm telling you, we're on fire. New sexy new computer and we're good to go, mate. Everything's looking good tonight. And it gets to about 8:34, I reckon, and Greeno's been sitting in the voice chat for maybe 10 minutes at that point.
My usual 5 to 10 minutes.
5 to 10 minutes. And I jump in there and wouldn't you know it, no fucking sound.
Why would you need sound? Once again, sound overrated.
Sound is very much overrated. Things there's some gremlins in the system. Things are going the wrong way. But then we're going to triple down, and this will be the last. We've never done a story within a story within a story before.
I like stories about pinatas.
Take the record for that, which leads us to the final conundrum.
I think we've gone about 8 deep at one point.
8 deep, maybe. Yeah, that was.
I'm pretty sure we have.
Were we in Thailand for that one? Maybe.
Possibly.
Eastern Europe, perhaps.
Yeah, definitely East.
Well, there's gangsters and everything. There's layers of story that come out of Eastern Europe. So, anyway, there's some gremlins in the system. Some audio's not going where it's supposed to go, but it's all right. You know what? I'll take care of that. I'm just going to reset the whole system. You know what I mean? I'll reset everything. I'll come back fresh and it'll all be good. Reset the system, Greeno. The login that I've been using for the last 4 or 5 years now vanished.
Nice, Jerry! Once again,
gone.
Logins overrated.
Logins are overrated. And I'm like, well, that's a conundrum because now I can't actually physically load up all of my settings and stuff. So that's weird. Had to resort to a previous login that hasn't been used for years and years and years. Log in, and then it turns out because I've migrated from one hard drive to another, Greeno, Windows is tapping on my door. You know what they're after, Greeno? They want a little bit of cash out of me. Wouldn't you know it?
Where's our money? This is a new computer, isn't it?
Where's our money? So
we need the money again. Where's the money?
So I've had a fully paid up version, and I mean fully paid up for the last 5 years version, Windows 10 Pro, Greeno, the good stuff, the top shelf one, right?
The big boy.
Big boy, right? And I've been happily using that. But it turns out if you migrate your version of Windows from one device to another, all of a sudden Windows thinks you stole it.
You stole it. It's not yours.
It's mine, though. And so you
have
to...
not. It's your old motherboards.
You're onto this. So, I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, hang on a minute. What the fuck? Turns out, obviously I had Windows loaded up by the guys down at the store, Greeno, because I said to them, no, I don't want to spend all day fucking around with Windows, just load it up and give it to me. This is when I bought it the first time, right? And they did a really good job. They really did a fantastic job setting this thing up. The first time, we're talking 2017, 2018, right? Now, so I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, fuck, I need to find this product key. The product key, because I bought it with the system, right? Yeah. It was on a sticker on a box somewhere that was probably thrown out, maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
No, that's your fault. You've always got to keep random stickers with random product keys.
Random stickers with random product keys.
For as long as humanly possible. You got to take those things to the grave just in case.
Exactly. Now I'm like, well, surely there's got to be another way that I can verify that this is in fact me, and I do own this version of Windows, and everything's above board here. Surely there's some way to prove justice, Greeno. Surely justice exists in this world that Microsoft has built for.
Blue checkmark.
Yeah, the blue checkmark world. They believe in justice too. Maybe I can get a hashtag going for this. And so I'm like, well, surely there's some way. Turns out that no, there really isn't. And no, there really isn't. you need to, in order to like reactivate your Windows. And I'm like, well, look, now I'm kind of fucked. And I'm like, okay, well, I kind of really want all of my full utilization that I had before. You know, I don't want to be, because you can run on Windows, but it's like a dumbed down version where you can't really do all of the things that you can do in your paid up version, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I've got to.
The one I use.
That's right. The one that says Windows, fucking.
Sample.
Check your fucking, check your settings, please, to activate your Windows. And you put a bit of black tape over it, Greeno, so you don't have to see it on the monitor.
Work around it. Yeah, you
work
trim
around it. And so I'm like, I'm not going to live like this. I'm not going to live like Greeno. You know, I want the fucking Rolls Royce sitting in the garage here. So I log on to, I'm like, well, how much is it going to cost me to buy a key back? Because I already own this fucking thing, so I'm kind of pissed that I have to buy it again. Maybe there's a cheap version for people who've already owned it but have just lost the fucking key.
Lost the box, yeah.
Yeah, right? And so log in. I want you to take a stab, Greeno. How much do you reckon this bad boy would cost? Just to get the key sent to me so I can have the full version like I already have had for the last 4 or 5 years.
$129.95, sir.
Oh, mate, you are way off. In the Microsoft store, it is $340.
Nice, Gary! Unreal.
$340 fucking dollars.
For something you already have.
For something I already own. Fucking Microsoft Windows.
Yeah.
$340 fucking dollars to send. They're not even handing me a box. They're sending me a code in an email. It's automated. Nobody's even actually doing it.
Yeah, but
$340.
Yeah, well.
So, there are limits.
Bill Gates' mind controller isn't going to pay for itself, mate.
That's right. I mean, you've got to pay off the vaccines, Greeno. With the 4G, they're not cheap. They don't come cheap. They don't grow on trees, the 4G vaccines.
No, exactly.
That's it. So this is how they screw you. So I thought, well, I'm not going to fund the global conspiracy.
Yeah.
It's not. They're not getting $340 out of me. I'm going to look for some other options out there.
Surely there'll be an email when you first signed in.
No, I don't.
Somewhere.
I don't know. I don't think there would be.
I swear when I first logged in, I got an email to say, thank you for paying. Blah,
this
blah,
is
blah.
your product key.
This is your product key. So if you can remember.
It's quite possible that that's true. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's quite possible that that's true. But if I remember correctly, at that time, I had an email address that was paid for. And I no longer have that email address.
Oh, well, now you're fucked. Now, here's the thing. Is it going to be cheaper to pay for the email address to come back?
Oh, yeah, I'm not going. No, I burned that bridge on the way out. I'm not going back to that fucking company.
Yeah.
Never again.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they were terrible. Fucking terrible. And so, so now I'm in this conundrum. I'm like, well, now I've got the cheap ass version of Windows, even though I own the major one. I'm definitely not fucking paying $340 to get access to it back again. So, here we are. So now I've got the watermark, the cheap guy watermark. I've had to, change.
Welcome, sir.
Welcome to the club. I've had to change my main monitor to one of the side monitors that I never look at, just so I don't have to look at the watermark.
Nice, Gary!
So every time I open a new window, I actually have to open it on this side one and then bring it over manually to the main screen. This is what life is like, ladies and gentlemen, when the corporation decides to screw the little guy.
$349. Nice story time.
Thank you very much.
I like stories
story within
about
a story within a story.
pinatas.
I got a quick story time as well.
I like
this is
stories
a
about
preemptive story
pinatas.
Yeah.
Where so tomorrow, my son got like a gift from the grandparents. He's obsessed with dinosaurs. So
we got Victor Show. Sorry, Greeno. Sorry to interrupt. We got Victor Show in the chat, and he is offering some IT advice, Greeno, on the Windows issue. So
excellent. Maybe that's something we could take up after we're doing
after your story.
Yeah, we want to ask the story. Once we log off, maybe just reach out to Victor at that point, not,
talk
20 minutes
I'll
in.
talk to him directly in the chat now. Walk me through it, Victor. What's step one? Now, I'll reset the computer, and when we come back, I'll fire up the live stream again, and we'll go through this. Okay? That's Gary.
Nice, Gary! What was I talking about? Yes.
But I actually will reach out to Victor after the show and go, hey, bro, give it to me. What have you got?
Help me out.
Fucking oath, man. Absolutely.
Well, and then once that's fixed, then we'll give Victor an Oscar.
That's right. Only once it's fixed.
We're not going to. Don't want to go too early on the nice Garys.
No, they're too important. We don't want to be
Yeah.
frivolous with them, do we?
Got to conserve them.
Yep.
So there's a dinosaur museum in the city. So folks are like, yep, we're going to take him in. And we're like, all right, excellent. Sounds like a plan. Now, because I live such a distance from the folks and such a distance from the city, the whole kind of idea of maybe like me and my wife spending the day together got shot in the foot because my wife now works on the weekends. So that plan's out. And then I'm like, well, I could drop him off. But then it's literally quicker for me to drive.
Hang on.
I like stories about
I
pinatas.
want to ask you a little question here. Now, so
your
wife is now working weekends. So that's interesting. That's a different dynamic because I've worked weekends before. We both worked weekends, ladies and gentlemen, blockheads. We both worked weekends all through our like late teens and early 20s, basically, didn't we? So we were always hanging out, like getting plastered on Tuesday
nights. That was our night.
Not Saturday night.
No.
And all of it was funny.
Cheap drinks was great.
Yeah, because we were all retail jerk-offs, weren't we, basically? So we were all kind of working weekends and then having
the weekends because we need the double time.
Double time and a half, Greeno. Absolutely. Got to get your tea money on the weekend.
Exactly.
Yeah, fucking oath. So now the wife is working on the weekends, but that would mean you're on kid duty. So where do you sit with you've got weekend time when wife's at work so you can, watch sport or fuck around or do whatever you want, you know what I mean? But, on the flip side, it's now like, well, you can't palm the kids off to her if you want to do something on the weekend. It's become a double-edged sword. You don't do anything anyway.
I don't leave my house, mate. So like I'm always with
now that you've got a pitching machine in the backyard, there's no need.
Well, I was filthy. I've been sick all this week, so I haven't had a chance to use any of it. It's just sitting there toying with me, going, come on,
brutal.
get better.
That's disgusting.
So nonetheless, so I was like, oh, look, if I drive them all the way to the folks' place to then take them into the city, well, then they're traveling for like 6 hours already.
It's a long time.
It's fucking stupid. I'm just going to drive them in. I'll go to the museum as well, and then we'll drive back. So I'm like, because I'll get the option. I could go drive or I could go train. And I'm like, well, firstly, train's fucking filthy. And secondly, after doing that train ride a couple of weeks back when I was forced to go into work, to think about doing that on a weekend where it's all stops and with 2 kids, I'm like, I was getting agitated. Fuck that. I'll just drive them in.
Yeah, and I mean, Sydney trains, folks. I mean, would you want to sit in a pool of urine on the way to the city?
No, definitely not weekend trains because, they've still got the Friday night vomit. They've got the Friday night vomit stewing. It's been baking all day. It's just no good.
The weekend trains are the traveling hobos hotel, Greeno.
100% they are.
They just ride them like for the whole 2 days, and then on Monday morning they get off again and go find their favorite, door again.
Yeah.
Weekend they're not non-stop. A lot of people drop a lot of change on the train, Greeno.
Oh, mate.
Drunk people coming home from the
Drunk
city.
people dropping wallets, dropping cards, dropping coins, dropping
phones,
beers. Dude, like half-eaten Big Macs. Like it's flavor country right there.
Absolutely.
So I was like, I'll drive in. Now I'm going to do some parking research. So looking around for kind of like obviously cheapest parking. Most things pretty consistent that's like around the area. So I see
you didn't go for the closest parking because I would naturally go, well, where's the closest? What does it cost? I don't care. Is it closest?
Well, that's what I picked. I picked the closest. I'm like, they're all about the same price. Fuck it, I'll just pick the closest.
Beautiful.
So went to look at it. It's like, you can pre-book and you get like a discount using this museum code. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Okay.
Fuck yeah, I'll get a discount. This is amazing.
Yeah.
I'll jump on in. I'll get my parking and I'll save a few bucks.
Don't have to tell Greeno twice there's a fucking discount. You don't even have to tell him once. He'll anticipate it. He smells it.
Sniffed it out. So I sniffed that promo code. So I jump on in and they're like, by the way, we need a few details.
Here we go.
So I'm like, hang on, let me get this right.
Your pet hate.
All I want is to bring my car in and park it.
Yeah.
I've got the promo code.
No. We need to know who you are if we're going to let you park here, mate.
Just to park. These are mandatory fields. First name, last name, email address, phone number, address.
Preferred pronouns.
But then choose a password, confirm. What do I need a fucking password for? I do not need an account to fucking park my car for a day.
Oh.
So then I looked and they're like, if you don't pre-book, you don't get the discount. I'm like, well, how much is it without the discount? Like $2 more.
What are my deeply held values actually worth in real money? $2.
Turns out
45 cents.
I'm willing to pay $2 to not give you my details. Nice, Gary. So they can go fuck themselves. I'm just rocking up. in person, and then
$2.
I'm going to yell the promo code at them just as they open the boom gate.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be up museum and see if I can get $2 off. That's my story.
It's a good story.
I like stories about pinatas.
Fantastic.
Have we checked in? Last week we talked about poor old Jerry Lee Lewis was dead. Then they turned out, oh no, wait, no, Jerry's not dead. We just fucking shot the gun on that. No pun intended.
That's right.
And then a couple of days later, turns out, oh no, Jerry's dead again.
Yeah. Look, and if my audio had been working correctly, the plan was to play that snippet from the show last week where we pretended that Jerry Lee Lewis was dead when he wasn't.
Yeah.
Only
we didn't
to
pretend that the media were reporting it,
Well,
and they're like, "Oh, whoopsies!" Turns out he was alive.
Well, that's right. But then only to discover as soon as we'd finished the show and making fun of the media whoopsies and Jerry Lee Lewis was actually alive. By the time we'd finished that show, he had died.
Yeah,
he was dead.
Again.
He was dead again. That's right. Nice, Jerry. He died again, but this time for real.
For reals. Well,
So
maybe
we killed him.
Could be a bit of a Buffy situation.
A Buffy situation. He does kind of look like that young blonde vampire that was in Buffy,
Spike?
the male Spike.
That's Grandpa Spike, right?
Grandpa
there.
Spike. He's got the red eyes too. Look at him, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, he did marry his cousin. He's a bit fucking all over the shop.
Did he marry his cousin or was the cousin the 13-year-old?
No, it's both. He married his 13-year-old cousin when he was like 27.
Really? Did they stay married that whole time? Or?
I think. I don't know. I didn't.
Well, here's the thing. Here's a problem for you. If they stay married forever, does it cease to be a bad thing?
You'd have to ask their retarded children, I imagine.
Nice, Gary. How can we ask their retarded children, Greeno? They don't have any ears.
There you go.
They're vampires.
I want to give can I give a quick nice Gary to Halloween?
Nice, Gary. Why not?
Not to Halloween specifically. I want to give a nice Gary because we've shat on the weather quite a while. Probably the last couple of years, quite rightly, because it's just been fucked.
Probably the last 200,000 years, Greeno. Cavemen were probably complaining about the weather.
It's been no good. Yeah. But I want to give a nice Gary to the weather on Monday afternoon because beautiful day. And then at about, 1:30.
Shitty up here. It was fucking drizzly and cloudy.
But then 1:30 decided, let's start pissing down. Which meant no one fucking knocked on my door because too rainy to go out trick-or-treating on a Monday night.
Oh, that's
so I want to give a nice Gary to the rain for making sure no one knocked on my door on Halloween. So well done. Nice Gary to the weather.
Nice Gary. Well done. There you go. I'm not sure if anyone knocked on our door. I don't recall. Because if they would have, they probably wouldn't have lasted long. Because if anyone knocks on my door, Greeno will attest to this. They end up having two fully grown large dogs basically slam themselves against the front door and start barking and going, row, row, row. So, anyone who knocks on the door has to be really committed. All the delivery guys who come to this house, most of them don't even knock anymore. They just kind of sneak up, drop it at the door.
Leave it, wander off. Yeah. Smart move.
Park down the street so that the car doesn't annoy them.
Well, apparently the protocol, I wasn't aware of this protocols because back when I was Southwest, no one followed protocols. Everyone just knocked on the door and was like, we want some fucking chocolate.
Yeah.
Apparently the protocol is if you put up Halloween decorations out the front, that means like you can knock on our door. If you don't,
that's fair.
It means don't. And I'm like, that is fair.
I can live with that. That's fine.
No, I'm 100% down with that. Yeah. And that's why I realized no one's been knocking since we moved here because I obviously don't put up decorations. Back in Southwest, no one gave a fuck. They would just knock.
So are you wanting children to knock or not?
No, I know I don't. But I buy chocolate just in case because I don't want to be that dickhead neighbor who's like,
fuck off, you little cunts.
Yeah, like each their own sort of thing. So I was like, look, if someone knocks, like I've got chocolate ready to go, but I'm not encouraging them to come.
Look,
secondly, it seems like a lot of effort to go and decorate your house to tell people to come and annoy you.
Well,
you know what I mean?
True.
Like I gotta spend money to decorate the home to then be interrupted while I'm trying to cook dinner on a Monday.
Well, what if you just put like a few rotted pumpkin shells or something out the front? Does that count as a decoration? That might be good enough. Just throw a pumpkin out the front, Greeno.
Yeah, but then I'm still getting annoyed, aren't I? I'm encouraging it.
Yeah, but I guess, don't you want to encourage it though? Because isn't it fun for the kids? And look, I'm not against kids having. Look, here's the thing.
I'm pro kids having fun.
That's it. Yeah. I would think I am against like the adoption of this Americanized version of Halloween. I understand it's a pagan thing and it's European and blah blah blah. I get it, but what they're now exporting to countries like Australia is the let's get kids to dress up, walk around, and get lollies and chocolate.
Yeah.
And again, I don't have any issue with kids. I think if you have a problem with kids having fun, then you have a problem. You know, whatever the kids are having fun, okay, let them have fun.
That's
fun,
the way I look at it. That's why I bought the chocolate. I'm like, I don't want
Exactly.
to have kids knock on my door and they're disappointed because they don't get anything.
That's right. You don't want to be that guy, but you can, at the same time, it's okay to allow kids having fun, as at the same time going, gee, I really wish we'd stop adopting this fucking, American stuff.
100%. No, 100%.
Right?
I will say there was
Look, and I've got nothing against Americans doing Halloween either, but it's just not our thing. Like, it wasn't a thing when I was a kid, when we were kids, Greeno, growing up, and even kids growing up here at that time, we thought it was pretty silly, like. If anyone was doing Halloween in the neighborhood, they looked like an idiot because they would be the only one walking around the street trying to get chocolate out of people. And people would go, what are you doing? Go home.
That and when we were kids, like we got drummed into our heads, don't fucking take like lollies from strangers.
Exactly.
It means they're going to put you back in a pedo bed.
But on this one day, apparently it's a free-for-all. It's a rapey,
you're going out of your way.
It's a pedo-y, rapey, chocolatey free-for-all out there.
100%. So it was kind of it was no good. I will say, though, I did see a couple of kids, because I was keeping an eye out in the street, seeing them walk past.
Yep.
And there were a couple of girls that walked past, and they were dressed up. I don't know what character it was, but they had all like bloody clothes, but then they had like blood all over baseball bats.
Yeah.
And I was kind of hoping they'd knock on my door just so I could say, hey, should I fire up the machine?
The pitching machine. Get some use out of it.
Get some use. Like, you got the bat. Like, do you want to just take a dozen? Like, see how you go? Like
a hot dozen. It's coming in high, Greeno. Chin music.
We'll throw some sliders. It'll be good. So that was the only disappointing.
Tell you what, kids, if you come out of it with less than half a dozen bruises, I'll give you a Milky Way.
Yeah, double down. Every hit you get, you get a chocolate.
A Skittle.
If I strike you out though, you owe me chocolate. I'm taking stuff out of the bag.
Taking their chocolate from them.
Yeah, 100%. Like, it's kind of like gambling, double or nothing, right? Like you could get triple chocolate, or you could potentially lose all your chocolate.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll talk about Greeno's cheapness often on this show, but we can now reveal that Greeno is so cheap that he collects chocolate from the children who come to his house at Halloween. He takes it off them.
Only if they lose.
Only if they lose. Yeah, you got to. Yeah. But it'd be rigged because you're a carny. So the game would be rigged, no doubt.
100%. Why is the thing
Total
going
carny.
over the top? Yeah. 100% carny actually happening in my house. Damo, we're still cancelling everything, I believe.
Yes. What are we cancelling now? God, I hope it's good. What do we got here? Who was that?
A number of New South Wales schools have decided to change the name of Grandparents' Day to Grand Friends Day in a bid to be more inclusive. So we're cancelling grandparents now, Damo. The move has been slammed as woke and insulting by grandparents. What do you think of the change? Well, firstly, it's fucking stupid. There's no such thing as grand friends. What do? You just bring some random old person along? Like, this is my grand friend. Yeah. Like, they're like, oh, it's so kids that don't have grandparents don't feel excluded. Well, that's what fucking happens. That is life. Like, if your grandparents are dead, like mine are, sometimes you just have no grandparents come along. That's just how it works. That is life. That's loss. Work it out.
Yeah, someone in this thread made a very valid point, and that is, well, the thing about grandparents is none of us would be here. Literally none of us would exist if they didn't exist. So it's not like a thing that you can, you can't language it out of existence. You know what I mean? It's like, no. It literally does take one man, one woman to make, your ancestor, and then they need to repeat that cycle until we get down to your idiot ass, at the end of the line.
Spot on.
Who's probably going to die? Who's probably going to die? Choking on their own sweatshirt or something when they're trying to put it on in a rush in the toilet.
I'm still trying to work out what a grand friend is, though. That's my point. Well, do they just pick up random people?
Look, normally I'd be all over this because it's a great little outrage campaign, and I love outrage campaigns, Greeno. But I think on this occasion, it's actually, you're going to feel like a real arsehole after this. Have a look.
Grand friends are residents here at Anzac Village. Many are also veterans.
A long time ago, a very long time ago, I was a soldier too.
During the Second World War, Marion worked in a top-secret intelligence unit.
I was a soldier for 3 years, and it was in a very special unit, and it was all hush-hush.
She was responsible for intercepting.
Okay, that's great. I get it.
And unfortunately, she was poisoned and couldn't have any children, which is why she had, isn't it her own grandparents' day?
No.
She had to rock up some random fucking thing.
No. So it turns out the Grand Friends, it's like Big Brother, kind of a little brother, you know, that kind of little brother program.
Yeah.
But it's for the, you know, they put the kids with the old people, and it's kind of like that's the Grand Friend program. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's not. No one was banning the word grandparent. They had Grand Friends Day, and you know, as usual, someone on Twitter, you know, today. On this occasion, Channel 9 today decided to kind of twist it into.
So it's not an instead; it's an on top.
No, yeah, it's its own thing. It's Grand Friends Day, and it's about it's about like matching the putting a room full of kids with a room full of old people. They love that shit, you know.
It's like what is it? There's a TV show on ABC.
I know. The
where
wife watches it. I've never watched.
They send the kids to the old folks' home, and everyone has a good old time.
They have a great time.
Well, that I'm in for.
Exactly.
Now,
Nice
give me a dick move.
And a sorry book.
I'm not gonna say sorry.
You're not sorry. Should be. It was terrible.
Sorry about it. I'm saying it was a dick move to not dig deeper into the article, but then I would have to click a link. You know how I feel about clicking links.
And you should be sorry for that.
I should be, but I'm not. So I don't want to patronise the audience.
Yeah, they're too. You think our audience is smart, do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
first time I've heard that.
Yeah.
You should hear. You should hear what he says off air.
Off air. Yeah. That I probably need to apologise for. We love our 7 listeners and all of our listeners in Vietnam and Ukraine.
It's very popular in Ukraine.
Exactly. Now, Dan, before we go to the first break, we always ask the question sometimes like, is this racist? Is this sexist? Because we get confused. I got to throw it out to the table. Just clarify when I see something, is this actually sexist? Is this actually racist? So I came across an is this sexist throughout the course of the weekend.
That's a fantastic one. Regarding the supercars, Greeno, our premier motorsport category in this country. That's right, isn't it? You would say the supercars is the pinnacle for us?
Oh, for us, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and not just for us, it's a pretty tidy little fucking category too. It's pretty famous, even though it's Australian, it's down here at the bottom of the world. It still gets still rates its tits off overseas, Greeno, especially Bathurst. They love it. So this is regarding the V8 supercars, and this tweet is, for an industry that works pretty hard at promoting the strength, skill, and participation of women, it's disappointing to hear the repeated quote, "The boys have worked so hard. I feel bad for the boys," end quote. Still work to be done. Hashtag Repco Supercars. Nice. Work to be done, Greeno. We've got to work harder eliminating language.
Cancel everything. Cancel everything.
Well,
now look, just hear me out. Hear me out. Maybe the females on the team fucking slack asses, and it would have been unfair for the driver to thank them when it was the boys.
Didn't do any work.
Yeah. I was just out the back fucking chatting, having cups of tea. This is bullshit. I'm not going to thank them. Fuck them. Like, thank the boys.
Like the chicks who work on the road crews, and you see them just standing there looking at their phone all night.
100%.
The other guys are on the digger. They're fucking on the shovels. They're doing
holding
the
the sign. That's it.
Yeah,
holding a sign.
Holding a stop go sign, but they're ignoring the stop go whether they should do it or not because they're on Facebook or Insta.
Yeah.
Fantastic stuff.
So is this sexist? I don't know. Can't stand.
I don't know if it's sexist. It's definitely a fucking, it's definitely a kind of, weepy kind of weaselly kind of little take though, isn't it? It's a wet willy, Greeno. It's a wet fish hot take, right? It's so sexy for the male driver to be out there saying, well done for the boys. In today's world, I find that very offensive. It's that kind of like, ugh, I don't even want to fucking talk to you, mate. You know what I mean? Like, if you're that miserable, just fuck off. I don't want to know you, Like,
do you reckon this is the kind of guy, like based on that tweet, I think it's the kind of guy who is kind of insufferable. Yeah. So would find it hard to get a route So what he has to do is he has to overcommit,
simping,
and feel. Yes. So I feel like this is a
it's a white knight situation, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, well, this is how I'm going to pull the ladies.
I need to step in here. I need to step in here and protect milady's honor, Greeno.
Yeah, work to be done, Davo.
My fucking hero, work to be done.
Nice, let's go to a break.
Oh, the audio tonight is just absolutely superb.
Press the wrong button.
Do you like your novelty comedy songs organic? Handmade with painstaking care, put into every note. Well, look no further than Irrational Times. Using only the finest instruments to create an experience that your ears will thank you for later, Irrational Times attempts to elevate the whimsy to a desirable level. New songs and sketches every week, so check it out.
There's a place that we can go to watch old things. All the warm, fuzzy member berries it brings. It's a special little spot tucked away on D-Live. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. Campy old movies and old cartoons. We hope to see you over there very soon. It's our special little spot tucked away on D-Live. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. When we were kids and there wasn't any school, we'd sit and watch all the best cartoons, eating cereal until it was noon. We'd never thought that 30 years later it'd still be cool. Saturday night and cheesy movies, the ones that used to show us boobies. It's our special little spot tucked away on D-Live. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. Enjoy the joy of Pessy.
Now with less than 3% sport content. It's the starting block on TAVshow.com.
Yeah! Welcome back to the block. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, don't forget Twitter. It's been going off this week, Greeno. A lot of people getting angry on Twitter. The right-wingers, the fascists, they're back in control apparently, Greeno. I don't know if you noticed this or not, back on Twitter. Apparently all the Nazis are back. I didn't know. I didn't see them. Our seventh listener, Mr. Bab, is it? Is it Mr. Bab?
Yeah, Stephen Bab. I love how he's active with the show. Yeah. We'll kind of like tweet us whilst listening. He's kind of like, hey, man, I got a question.
Well, he tweeted out last week. He's like, "Where are all the something the equivalent of? I can't remember exactly, but it was something like, where are all these evil, awful people that I've heard so much about coming back on Twitter? Because I haven't seen them yet." And I thought,
once again, Twitter is a follower subscription.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen them either. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong place.
You don't like the Nazis? Don't follow the fucking Nazis.
Well, maybe I want to laugh at racist jokes just as much as any other kind of casual observer of the internet, Greeno. So why should I be denied? Can someone tell me where all of the awful hate speech is, please? Because I'd like to have a look at it.
Just go down that rabbit hole.
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen it. I don't know where it is. Maybe I'm following the wrong people.
Yeah, tweet going, oh, this place has turned into a cesspool this week. Yeah. I'm like, really? Like, you have to be going out of your way to find it.
When you actively funnel your experience to being nothing but sports, 80s movies and tit, then you're not going to see the bad stuff, are you?
Exactly. Once again, just, mute, block, just
if you've got such a problem with Nazis, why do you keep looking for them all the time?
Why do you keep following them then?
Why do you keep following them? Why do you keep reading them?
Are you a Nazi sympathizer?
Maybe you must be. Or a Nazi fetishist, Greeno. Maybe you got a fetish for the Nazis.
Yeah.
I did read a study, a few years ago that suggested that people of a particular political view and ideology, Greeno, most often fantasize about the other side, giving them a right royal rogering, Greeno. Did you know that?
There you go. Yeah. No, I did not. Why would I know that?
There you go. Because I guess why would you want to fuck someone who believes the same things as you do? You know, you kind of want to conquer the other team, don't you? Right?
There's logic to it. I'll pay you that.
Yeah. Okay. Nice, Gary.
Nice, Gary!
Hate fucking. There you go.
Yeah. Hate fucking.
Yeah.
I think that's rape, mate.
No, as in like. Anyway. You know where I'm going. Now, Damon.
Sexist and misogynists and chauvinists and sexists.
So like when you're just angry at someone and just it turns into a hate fuck. Once again, this is sounding very rapey and not intended to be.
I think
rapey.
hate fucks only happen in the movies though, because it's like it's the classic thing, like Indiana Jones and that chick, you know, and she's like, "You're such a you're a brute," you know.
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, you're not so hot yourself either, lady," you know, that kind, and then they end up fucking. I think that's a hate fuck, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, it's kind of you take your anger and you just fuck it away. To find common ground.
That's right. That's you hate each other so much that you find it irresistible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Opposites attracting, Dan. Like reverse magnets.
Yeah. I guess that's the way I've treated all my relationships, Greeno. I just hope that, you know, oh, good. You hate me. Okay, that's good. It works out there.
We're in here. Yeah.
Want to hang out?
Now, David, we like scrolling in here. The Twitter may be a cesspool, but it's like we go out of way to find the real news.
Yeah, we do
in our research for this show.
We do a lot of research. Yeah.
So much research that we just like we got to find the big stories, got to find the biggest things happening in the world,
the hot button items, Greeno, hot goss off the press.
Exactly to make sure that our 7 listeners are completely up to date,
covered
the top echelon of important news that's happening around the world. And
Definitely.
you sent me this one, and we're like, wow, fuck, man, how did this one slip through the cracks of the like front page news? But thankfully, you're on it.
Yep.
What have we got?
Yeah, I caught this one up in the scoop, Greeno. Nearly missed the fucking scoop and went into the bin. Can you believe it? Something so huge as this. Former Baywatch bombshell Yasmin Bleeth, 54, is seen walking her dog makeup free.
Nice, Gary!
That's news there. It's good
That's
news. Good
exclusive.
newsing, Greeno. Very good newsing. Yeah. Have you heard the theory of newsing before? Have I told you about this idea?
No, fill me in.
It's this thing. I invented this. So I have this idea that newsing is like the act of news, but not news, right?
Okay.
So, you know, you get good news or bad news, but if someone is just inventing news, then we call that good. That's newsing, right? See, they're doing news. They're not presenting news. They're not giving you news, but they're newsing. They're as if it were news, right?
Okay.
So this is good newsing here. Former Baywatch bombshell Yasmin Bleeth, 54, is seen walking her dog makeup free. Good newsing. Nice, Gary.
There's a lot to it too. They try to like really squeeze in a lot. So firstly, they want to kind of like age shame Yasmin.
Yeah.
Firstly, pointing out she's 54. Why do we need to know how old Yasmin is while she's makeup free and walking?
Are you saying Yasmin Bleeth isn't as fuckable as she was in her mid-20s? Are you suggesting that? Yeah, 30 years ago. Wow, how awful. Shock horror.
The makeup free thing is obviously a bit more clickbait. Go, I want to see how much of an uggo she is now.
Yeah. So we fetishize the female actors when they're young and pretty, and then we also fetishize them on the way out, and they go, "Oh my God, look how disgusting she is now. Look how fat and ugly she became in the end." You know.
To be fair, I'm looking at this picture of Yasmin makeup free walking her dog at the age of 54.
Good enough.
I think she looks pretty tidy for a 54-year-old makeup free.
She can still get it.
Yeah, 100% she could. Well done, Yasmin. Give her, definitely nice Gary to Yasmin.
Nice Gary.
But still looking like.
I don't agree with your analysis, but I'm giving you a nice Gary for making.
I'm just saying, like for a 54-year-old, you know, doesn't look as bad as they're trying to make her out to look. Now, where I will call her out on it is the hair could have done with a brush.
Well, I mean, she's makeup free, Greeno.
Yeah, but you can still brush your hair, right? I don't know. I don't have any hair, so it's tough to say.
Well, I like the fact that she's wearing the slacky dacks, and you know, they look like pajama bottoms, Greeno. Actually, so
maybe the dog just needed to go potty.
I think
like,
that's what it is.
Maybe she wasn't even walking the dog. Like she's sitting there, she's chilling in the lounge room, trying to watch some, you know, newsing on the interwebs.
That's right. On the Facebooks.
And then the little pop-ups come out. Oh, you need to go take a dump. All right, well, we can't do it in the lounge room. She quickly hops up. Well, we hasn't even had breakfast yet. Hence the no makeup. Hence the scruffy hair. Hence Slacky Dax in what looks like slippers.
Yes.
Quickly out the front of the compound, doing your business, back out. Now that is not fun using because that's like, hey, Yasmin Bleeth takes a dog out for a shit. Obviously she's going to be makeup free. She's not going to get dressed up to do that. Imagine getting the real news would be if Yasmin Bleeth, the dog comes up, I need no poopies, do you? I'll take you outside. Give me 10. Got to wax some makeup on. Got to do the hair. Got to get a new dress on, and then takes it out. That would be more newsing than this one, I think.
Well, Greeno, I can prove to you that the modern day newser is an idiot. Okay, he's a complete fucking moron. Well, I can prove it beyond doubt, and here's how. Because your modern day newsing person believes that the 54-year-old image of Yasmin Bleeth walking her dog makeup free is clickbait. When I would suggest to you, why not just put an article and it's like, here's Yasmin Bleeth pictured on Baywatch, and then it would get 3 times as many likes.
More clickbaity.
It's far more clickbaity. In fact, why don't you just do porn? Why don't you just let's turn Daily Mail UK just into straight porn, Greeno? How about that? See how many people like and retweet it. Why not?
Yeah. Here's a picture of Yasmin Bleeth's butthole.
Yeah.
Like, click on
Did
here.
she do Playboy or something? Just, go again. Go again. 54-year-old mate, just her and the dog, Greeno.
Makeup free.
Yep. Because of rights. Yeah.
Equality.
Damo,
quick story time.
Little story.
I like stories about pinatas.
Where the little one had to do a school speech assignment. So I had to put together a 5-minute speech or 2-minute speech, I think it was, about her favorite place to visit and kind of do it. Like she could do like a PowerPoint slide to present with it, all those kind of things. Like Prezzo. So she had to do it a couple of times this year.
Show me, it's basically a pitch. Here's a sales pitch for a place I went to. Tell me what you think.
Yeah. Or not so much that, just kind of like, I like going here. Here's why I like going here. And it's basically just to build confidence of them speaking in front of a group from a young age. So my daughter has no problem with that because she's a big fucking show pony and wants to get up and fucking talk in front of everyone.
Yes. Center of attention, just like a daddy.
Just like a dad was in primary school. So anyway, I help kind of like help with speech, but because I normally help with the homework. But I said to the wife, I'm like, look, can you help with the PowerPoint slide? Like, she's like, I've already done it. And I'm like, all right, excellent. All good. She's like, we just got to organize the photos. I'm like, excellent. I've got some yard work to do. We're all good. So she puts it all together, come back in. I'm like, how'd you go? Like, all done. Do you want to look at it first? I'm like, nah, man, like, it's sweet.
I trust you.
Good.
You good?
Yeah, like, I didn't need to double check it. Like, fuck, man, I'll get enough work. Like, no, I'm not going to check the homework. Like, it's sweet. Let's just go with that.
Just hand it
So
in.
anyway, pick up.
And then you discover she's been listening to Kanye West, Greeno.
Oh no! Oh no! We should put him there. You can't say that.
Fuck the what? Fuck the who? Oh no! Her teacher, Mrs. Goldstein, wants to have a chat, Greeno.
So pick her up from school after a speech. I'm like, how'd you go? She's like, really, really good. But some kid in the class was laughing. I'm like, oh, laughing at you. Like, that's not really nice. She's like, no. She was laughing at you. I'm like, hang on, what the fuck did I do?
Oh,
and she's like, oh, well, in the photo, like, because she picked the beach.
Yes.
In the photo, it looks like you're not wearing any clothes. I'm like, what are you talking about? So then I go have a look, and the family photo that they picked to kind of go, because part of the speech was, oh, I like going because it's like family beach holidays, is me shirtless.
Not the famous photo from the show, Greeno.
Not the famous, or same holiday, but different photo.
You did a shoot. It wasn't just a one-off.
It wasn't a one-off. Yeah. We did a whole kind of portfolio.
Did a session,
100%.
Look at my range.
It was like oiled up. There was no oil on this one. It was just me kind of shirtless, but everyone else is in like rashies and stuff.
Makeup free.
I'm like, I literally put a couple of months in. Fucking, I'm not putting a shirt on. Fuck this. Like, this is a private family photo. No one's ever going to see it. Lo and behold, they put it in the thing. So anyway, the wife gets home and I'm like, hey, look, actually, I can't speech go. So I was like, everything went well, except for the fact you put a shirtless photo of me in there.
Now, Greeno, I want you to, we need to pause this story just for a moment.
I like stories about pinatas.
And I want you to take it back to one of these. to about, I'm going to say it's probably about maybe 6 to 9 months ago, where the hot topic on this show was you wearing a singlet down to the school, Greeno, and catching the attention of the female, the mums who happen to be there, getting a couple of sideways looks. Someone checked you out. You have now gone the next step, and the kid is now taking in topless photos of dad to do for show and tell. So showing everyone. Here's daddy with his shirt off. Now, do you remember him? He's the guy who came down here with the tank tops on all the time.
Yes, stuff the jacked arms. Fair point. Now, well, here's the thing. So then after that, I was like, well, why did you put a photo of me shirtless in there? So I didn't realize. I looked at the photo. I thought it was a nice family photo, not thinking that you weren't wearing a shirt. I'm like, got to pay attention to that because the kids were laughing. Yeah. And I'm like, well, I got to check out the more important thing because, I'm like, well, what did the teacher say? The teacher didn't say anything. I'm like, well, that's a bit disappointing.
Why is there a half-naked man in your photo?
Yeah, exactly. I was hoping for a compliment.
Yeah. Is the teacher good looking? Is she?
Yeah, she is. So no luck. That's the beach assignment story.
Yeah,
I like stories about pinatas.
Fantastic.
We'll skip the next one. We'll just go straight to the final segment. I want to talk quickly about miserable sports fans, Damo.
Okay.
And we talked a bit about social media today, and we've talked in the past about just people being insufferable on social media, that they can take no joy out of everything. Everything's just going,
like our friend with the good luck to the boys. That's so
good luck
sexist.
to the boys, 100%.
That's what you got to. Oh, wait, you watched fucking 5 hours of motorsport only to get to the end of the race, and when they stick the microphone in front of the guy who won it, You've gone through that whole experience just for that moment, and then he's like, I just want to thank all the boys, and that's the thing that you decided, I'm not going to tolerate this.
Yeah, he's not going to have that.
It's disgusting and offensive. More work needs to be done, fellas.
Yeah, definitely more work to be done. Yeah. So yesterday, quick stat man.
Yeah, a little stat man.
I'm a stat man.
Houston Astros became the first team in MLB history to throw a combined no-hitter in a postseason game. Christian Javier started Houston's combined no-no in July 25 against the Yankees, and no pitcher has ever started multiple combined no-hitters in their career until yesterday. Now, it's only the second time a no-hitter's ever been thrown in the World Series.
Oh, really?
And
really?
Yeah.
That's incredible. As a baseball amateur, as myself, very much a baseball, not a fan. I'm not against it, but I can't. I've told you before, Grant, I can't go into baseball because it's too deep a rabbit hole with the stats and stuff. Yeah. I'm better off no, I can't get involved in it. It's like heroin. It's sports heroin, basically.
It really is. Yeah, the amount of hours
it's going to take up my whole life, and I can't allow that.
Yeah.
So
I've got so many hours to fill.
There's too many teams and too many games and too many fucking stats. So no,
a lot going on.
But I'm amazed, as as very laissez-faire kind of fan, that that's only happened twice before. I would how many World Series has there been? There must
108.
108, and it's only happened twice. That's ridiculous.
Yep. Unreal, isn't it? The last one was 1956, and then this one.
Because I would have thought, naturally, the World Series is probably going to have a team either with the best hitters or the best pitchers in it. And so surely the best pitcher surely best pitchers have won games, in the World Series more often than not. For this to be only the second time.
You still got the best hitters there, so it's hard to get a no-hitter.
It's true.
It's true. On the back end of that, but
sometimes bowlers take hat-tricks against good batsmen as well,
Well, for context, the day before, the Phillies set a world record by hitting 5 home runs in a World Series game. That has never happened before.
Really?
So
one
day they hit
that either.
they hit a world record 5 home runs the day before, and then the next day they got no hit. It was fucking unreal.
So World Series games are usually way more tighter and defensive, and no one takes a risk and stuff.
But you still get you still get hits because you got the best hitters. You normally tighten up your swing. Normally you see a lot more hits. Hence, only ever 2. So quick other stat man before I get back to my point.
Stat man.
So Dusty Baker was the manager of the 2010 Cincinnati Reds, who were on the receiving end of Roy Halladay's no-hitter in the postseason. And now Dusty Baker was also involved in this no-hitter yesterday. So he's been involved in 2 of the 3 in some way, shape, or form. Unreal. So anyway, I get on the twit after the thing going, look, And I saw a lot of people fucking shitting on the fact that it was a combined no-hitter. And certain people saying, I don't recognize it as history.
But is that like a hat trick over 2 innings kind of argument?
Sort of. Like it's a no-hitter. Like at the end of the day, there was no hits, right? So I saw this one dude, he's like, I don't consider that a no-hitter.
But it's
personal random dickhead doesn't consider a no-hitter.
But Greeno, inside the fence home run though. Is that a home run?
That's not a home run. Exactly. That's my point.
Yeah.
So I fly it back to him and I'm like, how many hits did they get? And he's like, none. But how many pitches did they use? I'm like, it's a fucking no-hitter, not a how many pitches, dickhead.
It's not a no-pitcher. It's not a no-hitter, one pitcher. It's just a no-hitter.
It's a no-hitter. It's in the record books. It's fucking history. The ball's in the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
And then straight away, and then his friend started chiming in.
Oh no, you're not getting into Twitter wars again, are you?
So hear me out. So then I replied back with something else of like, mate, like, I just enjoyed just appreciate it. Like I enjoyed watching being part. I said it's not the same as like one guy doing it, but I still got to witness history. Yeah. And his response was, I turned it off as soon as they took the first picture out. I'm like, well, you're a fucking idiot then. Like if you're
as if he did that, that's bullshit. It's as if he turned it off. I'm not going to watch the rest of this game. I'm only going to watch games where the one pitcher plays the whole time. He's never seen a relief pitcher in his life. This guy, he's old school.
He's going back to like
never seen a closer. You know,
he's going. I want to see a pitcher go 14 straight. So I was like, well, that didn't happen.
Pub trivia, they go, who's the best closer? You know, of the modern era, and he goes, what's a closer?
Yeah.
What's that? Never seen one. I walk out with the pitcher leaves because that's when I think the game's over.
The game's over because once that's done.
Well, the manager came out and took the picture. Isn't that for like to move his car or something? Or you know, come and get your car, mate. You're out of here. Well, all right. I guess we're all leaving then.
So then his friend chimed in, was like, "Oh, look, I feel like I see where you're both coming from, and I agree with you. I agree with what he has to say." And
no, not possible.
You're an idiot. It's like I think they just need to differentiate between this because it's not the same. And I'm like, they do. It's called a fucking combined no-hitter.
Yeah.
And as I started to reply, going, "Well, they do," I realized I was being snarky, and I'm like, "What am I doing? I'm 2 tweets deep into this fucking." I mean,
you've got to stop arguing. Not just you, Greeno. Everyone has to stop arguing.
I just deleted. I went.
Nice guy.
So
I do that so many times, man. Like I now do it. I'm getting to the point in my life now where even if something's like where 10 years ago or 5 years ago where I would have jumped into an argument, right?
Yeah.
I see that shit and I don't even get halfway through the first sentence of a reply and I just backspace it all. I'm like, no, I'm not even gonna. And you know what? Just click mute on that person. Mute. Yeah, like, see ya.
I didn't hit mute.
Good night. You know,
I played baseball with this dude often during the season.
Yeah.
But then later on, like earlier tonight before the show, I was just scrolling through as I normally do, see if there's any news to kind of throw in late.
Yeah.
And I saw this dude tweeting about the T20 World Cup once again being fucking miserable, right?
Same guy
going, Australia's never worked out how to play this format, and once again, I was
you have you, mate? You figured it out?
No. But I was ready to reply, and once again, I'm like, fucking, you're just doing to be a dick. I'm like, they're the reigning T20 world champions. They literally won the T20 World Cup less than 6 months ago. But apparently, once again, according to old mate who doesn't recognise combined no hitters, not a no hitter.
Well, see, and that's the problem right there in a nutshell, right? This is why don't waste your time arguing with people on social media, because social media is where all of the dumbest people are, right? So you will be trying to argue with a mushroom. You'll be trying to argue with a rock. Now, this guy invents his own reality where words have their own meaning, you know?
Yeah.
And no, it's not a no-hitter because they used 2 pitches. It doesn't matter, mate. They still got no hits. No, I stopped watching. There's no point having an argument.
I am not listening to Jeffrey.
That's right. There's no point arguing with this person. It doesn't matter what you say. It does not matter. I figured this out a few years ago, Greeno. You could have an argument that is so philosophically watertight, it would make fucking Aristotle shake with fear. You know what I mean? Like, I can't compete with this. Like, this logic, this is incredible. But the problem is you're dealing with someone who's a fucking idiot, and it doesn't matter what you say and how correct it is and how factual it is. They are too stupid to believe anything other than their own inventions. So that's what they believe.
Imagine being that miserable in life where no matter what sport you watch, all you see is the negative and feel the need to comment on negativity around it.
But that's the thing; they're happy. They love. They're happy in their misery. They love their misery. They thrive on it. It's. I know it's a cliche, but they are literally only happy when they're miserable.
100%.
They don't know. They don't know what it is to be not miserable. So being miserable makes them fucking happy. It gives them purpose to be out there complaining about stuff. Yeah, it's a reason to get up in the morning. You know. Mm-hmm. I agree, and that's why you're miserable. Why? Because you enjoy being miserable. That's why
you're watching sport just to complain about it. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Here's an idea: don't watch things you don't like. How hard is that?
Exactly. Can you just watch a game and just enjoy it? Like, this guy isn't a fan of either of these teams, but it's just kind of like
he's hate watching.
Just fucking watch the game, enjoy it. That's what I do. Like, I don't support all these teams either, and I don't really care who wins. But I'm like, hey, let's just watch some history. Like, I like watching the World Series.
Yeah, this is a guy who hate fucks his girlfriends, Greeno.
Definitely hate fucks his girlfriend. No, he doesn't have a girlfriend. No chance.
No. Well, you know, hate fuck / rape, whatever. You know.
Yeah.
Doesn't have girlfriends. He has victims. You know.
Imagine me around the dinner table. You cook him a meal. He's like, "Why don't recognize this is dinner? What do you mean?" Well, it's served before 6 p.m.
Yeah.
What do you mean? But it's like
soup's not a meal.
Steak and veg. Yeah, but the timing. You know, it's if you serve it after 6, then I recognize it as dinner. But
this is like a late afternoon snack.
What's a snack? I'm gonna have to call this afternoon brunch or something. Like, I don't recognize it. Quite frankly, actually, I'm just going to walk away from this plate. That's what I imagine this dude doing.
Just a misery, and like that's the thing. That the fun of Twitter is that you can observe and if you choose to mingle with the world's dumbest people, right? And it really is an experience. Once you look at it that way, like a little ant farm, you'll be so much happier. Trust me. If you see Twitter as a battleground of ideas, then you're one of the ants that we're laughing at, right? I mean this from the bottom of my heart because I used to want to argue with people on Twitter too. Don't get me wrong, but I've seen the light. Trust me, you are wasting your time. All the arguments you're trying to have on Twitter, I've had them. I've already done it. You know, I've had it with more people than you've had it with. On more occasions than you've had it with them, and I'm telling you, it's a dead fucking end.
So no one wins.
Enjoy. Nobody wins. You're not changing anybody's mind. Okay, you're only working yourself up at the end of the day. Getting angry about what's on fucking Twitter and stuff, and like this fucking idiot. You need to transition into, instead of this fucking idiot on Twitter, into this fucking idiot on Twitter. And once you get to that point, you'll be so much happier. Yeah. Take the pill, Greeno. It's worth it.
Damo, before we get to our last topic, I just want to get to the Warriors cause of the week. It seems like every week this week, or since the start of the season, the Golden State Warriors got a new cause to potentially distract from the fact that one of their team members decided to assault a colleague, and they had to quickly sweep that under the rug. So let's be fucking.
And what's his name? Is it Mark Price, Greeno?
Steve Kerr.
Steve Kerr. I always confuse Mark Price and Steve Kerr. I don't know why.
They're very, very alike.
Well, they were both white shooting guards, weren't they?
In NBA Live 95, they looked the same.
They did, exactly.
They were shooting guards or point guards, and they shoot threes. That's all. The only reason.
Shoot threes. Little white guys who shot threes. That was
threes.
Shane, one of our favorites, the Hammer, Shane Heal, Greeno. He was a little white guy who shot threes.
Shot threes. Loved him.
Got plenty of them.
So this is
Larry Bird, Greeno. Greatest white player ever lived, wasn't he? Apparently, white guy who shot threes. That's what we got.
Nice, Gary.
White guys who shoot threes.
This is from the press conference today. Words matter. Words really, really matter. Yep. We have to be more vigilant as a society. We can't be just accepting comments that are destructive and insulting to people. So can't accept the comments. Can accept common assault though. Come on, how is I just don't get it. Like, how do you get away with this?
Well, what about Kyrie Irving, Greeno? Did you see?
No, I don't want to give him any more airtime, Damo. He's got enough airtime on real radio today.
Well, no, I just want to say that later this afternoon, I think it was Fox News, and they tweeted something out. Kyrie Irving finally apologizes. Well, I thought,
well, he did have three cracks at it.
Well, fucking good luck to him. But but see, if you're going to double down and triple down, you have to commit. You have to commit all the way now. You can never apologize now because you're in too deep. Now, the time to apologize is like right after. If you want to get out of this, then that's your opportunity. It has to be like the next day. You know what I mean? Look, I'm sorry. I was loose. I fucked it up. I just want to go back to playing basketball. Please don't cancel me because I make a lot of money doing this. I don't want to go play in fucking Greece or something. Well, Mexico, Canada. I don't want to play for the Raptors.
That was convenience of Kyrie's timing because he had three cracks at apologizing, refused to, and then they're like, "Oh, we're going to suspend you without pay today." Yep. And about 2 hours later, Instagram apology.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean I'm not getting paid? What do you mean? Wait, I'm not getting paid? Fucking, hey.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. So in those moments, you have to be like, what was the name of that fucking footballer who kneeled with the big hair?
Kaepernick.
In those moments, you're not going to like this, but in those moments, you have to be like Kaepernick. He never apologized. He was like, you know what, stick it up your, go fuck yourself then. He later bitched through the courts and tried to invent a reality where racism was the reason he wasn't playing NFL instead of being a pain in the ass and an average second quarterback at best. But he did stick to his guns, and that's what you got to do if you're going to take a stand on something. And it's ridiculous that he should even have to take a stand. What did he do? Tweet out a link or something? Like, who gives a fuck, mate?
Yeah, I don't know.
Who cares?
It
was an anti-Semitic book or something, or an anti-Semitic. Oh, look, the bigger deal. If they didn't make a big deal, but if they didn't make a big deal out of it, nobody would have fucking known in the first place.
No, well, it's made it worse because
you've inadvertently now because you needed to.
Now everyone knows about the tweet.
Well, they're all chasing it. What's this? I've got to see what this link is. Got to see what it was.
It's actually done the opposite of what they're trying to achieve, but yes. It's distracted from the fact that the Nets are fucking shambles at the moment. Have they won a game yet?
How's Harden going up there? Is he still there or is he retired?
No, he got traded. He's over at Philly now.
He's at Philly now. So he was at the Nets for one season, basically?
Season and a half, and then they traded him for Ben Simmons, and then Ben Simmons said, "Oh no, I don't feel like playing." So he just kind of sat out for a year.
Why doesn't anyone want to play at the Nets? What's wrong with the Nets?
Oh, it's just a circus. Yeah. Well, because I suppose Kevin Durant kind of runs the team, and you got crazy Kyrie, and then Steve Nash had to resign as coach earlier this week because Kevin Durant said,
racism. No.
I know he goes, I want to get traded, and I don't like the coach, so the coach obviously goes.
So Steve Nash again, another little white guy who shot threes, Greeno.
Oh, and then the Nets also decided, look, with Sachs, white guy shoots threes. Steve Nash, after he left, they're like, who can we get in to fix this rabble? I've got a great idea. The whispers
Doc Rivers.
No, they're going to hire the guy that got suspended for a year for inappropriate behavior from the Celtics.
Nice, Gary.
Because technically, he's not suspended from the league. He's just suspended from the Celtics. Yep. It's like, fuck it, we'll hire that guy then. That's the guy you want to bring into this situation.
Clean it up. Captain Dick Pick all over again, Greeno.
100% it's Captain Dick Pick all over. So well done. Fucking it's a shambles over there in Brooklyn. Fucking.
How are my Rockets doing? Because basically, I was really invested. I was invested in that Rockets team for a good number of years because we kept making playoffs looking strong and then getting bungled out in the first or second round, And then they basically traded the whole team. And it was a whole bunch of new guys. And I'm like, I don't even know who these fuckers are. Never heard of them. So,
I haven't paid any attention whatsoever to NBA. Once the baseball season finishes, I'll start paying a bit more attention.
Yeah.
Let's have a look here.
It's a little early.
Houston, dead last, 1-8.
Yeah, they're terrible. So I think they traded in a whole bunch of 19, 20, 21, 22-year-olds or something.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of kids. They're
tanking for a few years.
Yeah. Well, they want to try and build the team, keep them together for a bunch of years and see how they go. I get it. But yeah, they should have won a championship when Harden was there because there were some seasons there where Houston was near unbeatable. But there's always the thing with the Rockets is there's always one team or two teams. It's usually San Antonio that beats them, no matter how good the Rockets are going or how bad San Antonio is going. And obviously, San Antonio hasn't been bad very often. But even if San Antonio is having a bad season, they still beat Houston. So,
they find a way. That's how it happens.
Yeah.
Damo, before we wrap up, we like our muted word of the week. How about this one?
Yep.
Muted broadcaster of the week.
Yes. I'm liking this. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Because you sent it to the rundown.
Excellent.
Philip Duncan. Philip Duncan.
I'm trying to be professional here occasionally. He's like, oh, man, you've seen this?
There's illusion. Hey, Kevin, have you seen this? Have you seen this story? Kevin's like, Jay, we go through the rundown 15 minutes before the show every fucking night.
Rehearsal, mate. We just did an hour. We've already run the show.
Of course I've fucking seen it. You just showed me.
Yeah.
Hate that cocksucker. Hey, Kevin, you see this?
Who's this, Kevin?
Not just Max Verstappen, but Red Bull team, including Christian Horner, will not speak to Sky Sports at today's Mexican GP, Greeno. Boycott is indefinite.
Nice, Gary!
Well, there's only 2 races left, so it's at least 2. It's probably it is definite. It'll finish after 2 races.
Yeah,
because the season will be no one
will
really
need
ask any
some more
questions.
PR shit and get their name out there. This comes about because Ted Kravitz of Sky Sports has reported, like, obviously
the pit lane guy,
breaches,
obviously.
The cap breaches and how they cheated and how it's kind of attained a championship.
Well, we don't know if they cheated. We don't know.
Did.
No, but the report that came out, I've got to be fair, the report that came out also said that they can't find any evidence of anything done intentionally. It was some kind of like oversight. It was some kind of like small budgetary fucking process fuck up.
Yeah.
When you're spending the ridiculous amounts of money that the Formula One teams do, yes, I can think that's very possible, to oversight that kind of thing. Especially if it's collected in like ones and zeros at the end of every little equation,
Yeah. What I'm saying is, like, is it an oversight if we just accidentally overspend by $1 million in that, or if we just do more laps than we're allowed to? Like,
because that's the way the system is made. That's the way the system was made. So your issue is not with Red Bull. Your issue is with the FIA then. Because that's the way the system is designed. It's like, you can have like soft breaches. And so I think, if you want to be real, you have to say, well, what's the point of having a salary cap if it's not enforced? And it has to be every dollar. Well, I don't agree with salary caps, full stop. But if you're going to have one, then you have to have one. You can't have one that's not kind of sometimes, maybe. That defeats the whole purpose. So the rules at the moment are the reason that Red Bull's not getting punished for going over the salary cap. It's not Red Bull's problem. It's not Red Bull's fault that the rules they're not being punished. You can be angry at them.
The fact they're pissed off at Sky Sports because they're reporting about it.
Yeah.
Like, they investigated it and they're like, hang on, what's going on here? Like, this cost cap, hang on, when are you going to release this report? We know they're over. Like, is there anything going on there? So they've thrown their toys out of the cock, going, "You said bad words about us, I'm going to go talk to you."
Well, yeah, I think they didn't appreciate the fact that it's an ongoing thing, and they were like, "You kind of cornered us here," and it's like, what, stick it up your ass. Red Bull was kind of flexing them a bit there. Sky Sports, I thought, what, fuck you. I'd be pissed too if I was Christian. I don't know why you hate Red Bull so much. I'd be pissed too. Red Bull.
I just reckon they act like babies.
Well, I'd be pissed if I was Christian. Christian Horner gives them more access than any other team principal on fucking pit lane.
Yeah, because he does it for PR. He does it for his own. He's not doing it for the coverage. He's doing it to make himself look good.
Yeah, but then you blindside his team with like this kind of accusations at press conferences and stuff. And it's like, oh, you know what? Stick it up your ass then. Fuck you.
See, I respect that, because at least they didn't go, oh, he's one of the boys. He gives us coverage. Like, maybe that was Christian playing the long game. He knew there was some shit going on. He's like, if I give them all this fucking free thing, they won't say bad words about me. And then they did. He's like, well, fuck you. I won't come on your broadcast anymore. So maybe he was playing. Like, maybe it was all strategy. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a problem with it. Like, and I don't know the ins and outs of this supposed cap breach, but I know that in this report that was put out about it, they specifically stated that it was not like an intentional breach of the cap, and therefore it's not a big deal, kind of thing. Basically, more or less, to sum it up. And so it's like, well, then it's silly to be angry at Red Bull, because one, the people investigating them have said, well, they didn't do it on purpose, and it was kind of more of an oversight thing than an intentional. Like, they're not cheating. You know, it's not cheating if you're, if you're not meaning to gain some advantage through deceptive means. It's not cheating.
If they weren't trying to gain advantage, like.
Well, no, you're always trying to gain advantage in any sport that you do, but I mean, in this particular instance, for this particular factor of money being spent and stuff, they've decided that they didn't cheat because they weren't trying to intentionally breach rules or anything. It was like some kind of fucking accounting thing. It was like an oversight, basically. And, the other teams like Mercedes and Ferrari will bitch because that's what the factory teams do. Red Bull's more of a customer team than it is a factory team, and the factory teams don't like not winning. So, of course they're going to bitch and fucking moan. I'd be amazed if Mercedes was doing everything above board for the last 10 years. I'd be amazed. I'd be amazed if Ferrari was always. Don't you remember all the dramas with Ferrari's wings and stuff back?
They're all fucking cheating.
Yeah, it's like the Tour de France.
No one's acting like a baby when it gets reported, though.
Yeah, well, I guess I just don't agree that they've done anything necessarily bad here. Because if I were Red Bull, I'd be like, oh, no, go fuck yourself as well. I don't mind it. I'm going to give him a nice Gary, actually.
Nice, Gary!
To Red Bull for telling Sky Sports to go fuck themselves. Well, the Sky Sports cover, I love it. I love Ted Kravitz and Martin Brundle. Crofty, I can take or leave. I still miss Max Walker, but that's that's nothing personal, just the way it is. But Martin Brundle and Ted Kravitz are
Murray
great.
Walker or Max Walker?
Max Walker. Oh, yes. Fucking Max Verstappen going round the final quarter. I tell you what, he's a real dingo out there. That would be fucking great. Yes, Murray Walker. Now I can but they're so biased towards Lewis Hamilton, it makes you sick half of the time anyway. So, and now
that level is ridiculous. Yeah, the amount of Lewis Cox.
Oh, it's nuts, and
it's embarrassing.
Well, it's to the point where, like, if Lewis is in like a one-on-one situation, not even Lewis, because they've now, what's the name of the Lewis's teammate again? It's slipped my mind.
George Russell.
George Russell. Now, if George Russell's in a fucking one-on-one where he's clearly the aggressor, I've noticed Brundle and fucking the rest of the crew making excuses for it. Oh, well, he didn't see him there behind it. It's like, oh, come on, mate. If that was anyone other than Lewis or George, you'd be fucking hanging him from the nearest bridge,
100%. How good was Danny Rick on Monday morning?
Yes, it's just a shame it's been 2 years, We're
talking about he won a race last year.
Yeah, the fucking won the race, a clown race where it was all fucked up and incoherent, No, it
was full race. They smashed it.
No, it was like 7 or 8 people didn't finish that day, and there was all kinds of chaos.
Man, anyway, it was a good race.
No, it was kind of like one of those special races where things didn't go according to plan. Yeah, there was no way otherwise they would have won it.
Let me look it up.
Okay. You look it up. We'll put some music.
See how many DNFs there. Race win. That doesn't help me. Wins at Monza. Monza 2021. How does it just fucking find the results, eh? There you go. All right. So Daniel Ricciardo led, Lando Norris, Valtteri Bottas. See full results. What do they want me to click here? No, we're not accepting all. Fuck off. All right. Full results. How many DNFs? We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 DNFs.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little crazy now.
Who are the DNFs?
DNFs, Tsunoda, Gasly, Verstappen, Hamilton, Mazepin. So Lewis and Max. yes, they were out. That's when they fucking crashed into each other. That's right.
That's right. That's why he won. Yeah.
But then Mazepin, hey man, fucking wins a win.
It's not a win to win. You were like, no, it was a pure win. It was against the field.
He still beat Valtteri Bottas in the Mercedes. He still beat Sergio Perez in the Red Bull. Still beat the Ferraris.
Still beat Lando. Remember when he could beat Lando? Those were the days.
Yeah, those were the good days. Remember when Lando's like, oh, Daniel's holding me up, and they're like, bro, fucking he's 5 seconds up the road, Like, calm down. Like,
Lando, I like Lando, but he can be a little bit of a whiny little bitch too.
He can be. You know? It's a British thing, I guess.
I reckon it's just a modern driver thing because Verstappen can be a whiny little bitch too. But he has he not improved a lot in that respect this year? Don't you think?
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, I knew he would because he'd matured. Like, you have to, they all mature. Like, Schumacher was like that when he was young. Fucking remember what a prick Sebastian Vettel was when he was a kid? Like, how cocky he was, you know?
If Max is winning fucking 14 races and complaining, like, he's got real problems. Like,
well,
he's won every race. He's got nothing to complain about.
But he does complain during races. He complains about various things on the car because I think he's just like, he's just 100%. He just wants to win. He wants to lead every lap and win every race, you know?
Yeah.
So.
You fit well on Twitter, Max.
Just complain about everything.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm 32 seconds up, but the rear tires feel very bad. Okay, noted.
That's it. Keep driving, Max. Just fucking get going.
Okay, car is feeling very bad now. Should we box? No, Max, you're 2 laps ahead. It's going to be fine.
Should we get new tires and try your fastest lap? Max, you already have fastest lap, mate. Calm down.
You already have it. Don't worry.
You won the championship with 6 races to go. You're okay.
Okay, I need to do something about this car because it's losing. Max, what are you doing? You're driving the higher car, mate. You're driving the team bus.
That's him on the way to the track.
Yeah.
It's handling. I got nothing. There's nothing in the handling.
Yeah. Driving a Corolla to the
track. But still calling Christian Horner to complain about it.
Okay, Christian, I cannot feel the rear end. Is something wrong? Something wrong with the electronics? It's not working properly? Everything's working fine, Max. Thank you. Someone showed me a video of this guy, an Australian guy who does impressions of all of the F1 drivers. Have you seen this guy?
I haven't seen it.
You've seen it?
No, I haven't seen it. No.
Okay. I'm going to try and just quickly find it. God.
My question would be, is it as top-notch as our Kimi Räikkönen impersonation?
Oh, it's so much better. He is ridiculously good.
Impossible.
Oh, mate. Look, give me a chance to see it here. Here we go. I fucking found it. How good is this? All right. I'll put it up on the big screen. This guy is incredible, man. What's his name? Connor Moore. Okay. So we had a friend of the Lady Boogs came over a couple of weeks ago for lunch. I did a nice vegan pie, Greeno. I did a vegan meal, right? Nice vegan meat pie, right? And veggies in there. It was fucking delicious. She was like, this is ridiculous. This is great. You know, put a bit of veggie stock because the vegan stuff can dry out, you know. Put some veggie stock in there to make it like meaty and gravy. It was fucking beautiful. And she, you know, her boyfriend was like kind of passing through and he dropped in, this guy on a motorbike. Turns out, big Formula One fan. We started talking Formula One and he showed me this guy. Have a look at this guy. Connor Moore. I want to know if this is the one, the latest one. All right, you know what? We'll just have a look. Do we want to see his Kimi Räikkönen first up or?
Yeah, well, let's end the show on Kimi. So let's see the other ones and we'll come back and end the show.
Yeah, you know, it's been a great year, really.
Okay, now we need to. Here, all right, this one here.
This might be the most exciting Formula One championship we've had in years. I mean, it's just incredible. Not since Nico and Lewis.
It's Will Buxton.
Honest with you, I really don't give a shit. So.
Well, who do you think's going to win this championship now?
Probably whoever gives a shit. So that certainly won't be me.
Certainly won't
Usually
be
everyone's always at
Look
me.
at Lewis.
But this year, you know, Red Bull, they've thrown everything at me. I mean, they've thrown stewards at me. You know, penalties. I mean, Max even threw his car at me at one point.
Verstappen just throws the car at Hamilton!
I just don't think he has to be so aggressive.
How good is he, man?
Yeah, I don't think I'm aggressive at all. I think that's a very unfair comment from Lewis. I think, if anything, I'm probably not aggressive enough. So.
Well, it's not just Lewis that thinks you're aggressive. Everyone actually
Can we just stop with this fucking question, please? Okay? I'm not fucking aggressive. Okay?
Okay.
So can we please stop?
I'm sorry, sir.
What was I saying? Yeah, I think the most important thing for me to do now to the end of the season is to just stay calm.
My name is Carlos Sainz, and I'm a driver with Ferrari. And I think this year has been a pretty good year. But no matter what happens, I'll always be a smooth operator. Smooth operator.
Please stop singing.
Sorry, guys.
Please.
You want me to start again, guys?
Nah, do you know what?
He nails their the way they speak.
I think it's been a pretty up and down year. But I think as a driver, I've really matured. And I think that if I can...
Lando, do you want a box? No, do you want a box of Pringles? I'm going to the shop.
No! Shut up! Get out!
All right, relax, kid.
Yeah, it's been another devastating year. I thought I'd be a lot higher than 8th. So yeah, it gets me very upset and really angry. I apologise if I'm coming across in any way aggressive.
Oh yeah, please calm down.
But
you know, you can stop smiling, Daniel.
I can't, mate. It's just stuck like this. Yeah, I'm actually really upset.
Yeah, look, I'm just so excited for Christmas because my dad said I can have anything I want.
Well, I'm very proud of the job my son has done at Aston Martin. So I told him he can have anything he wants. And he said he wants Mercedes. So I'm going to buy him Mercedes. And a surprise, something small. Haas.
There you go. Nice, Gary. Nice, Gary.
Nice, Gary!
Plugs?
Plugs. I don't know if I'll do a show this weekend or not because, like, you know what? We're not going to go over it again. Go back to the start of the show if you want to know why I might not be doing a show this weekend. But we'll figure it out. We'll find out what's going on.
There you go.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, in that case, we'll see you guys next week instead.
Okay. Bye-bye.
We'll always be bosom buddies, friends, sisters, and pals. We'll always be bosom buddies. If life should reject you, there's me to protect you.
If I say that your tongue is vicious,
if I call you uncouth,
it's simply that.
Who else but a bosom buddy will sit down and tell you the truth?